Good morning, students. See, in the earlier session of the second order derivatives, I just mentioned the method how to find the second derivative. That is, when a function is differentiated once, you see whether it can be differentiated again. So, if a function can be, is it differentiable? After the derivative, if it is differentiable, we go for the second derivative, which is called as the second order derivative. Then the same rule, whatever rules so far you had learnt in the earlier sessions, we apply the same rule, maybe chain rule, product rule, quotient rule to find the second derivative. So, it may be a simple function or it may be a composite function. We apply the appropriate rule and go for the second derivative. Now, we had done some problems in the previous class. Now, in today's session also, I will be considering the derivative of the second derivative of some of the function. See, sometimes we may get composite functions here. So, in the beginning it may be a simple function, after the first derivative it may become a composite function, or in the beginning itself it may be a composite function. So, apply the correct rule and get the derivative of the function. Let me take the first problem. Y is equal to sin of log x. Y is equal to sin of log x. It is sin of log x. Now, you observe here, it is not a simple function. If that were to be sin x or log x, both of them would be simple functions, whereas I am having sin of log x. So, it is a composite function, means you have to apply the chain rule for this one. First, you apply sin rule. Then for log x, whatever rule is applicable, you differentiate. Apply the rule and differentiate. So, dy by dx equal to sin of anything. Sin of x will become cos of x. Therefore, I have cos of log of x. Don't differentiate both of them together. Sin as cos and log x as 1 by x. It is not correct. 1 by 1 you have to differentiate. We have learnt about that one. So, sin log x becomes cos log x into log x has the derivative 1 by x. Now, you have to go for the second derivative. There are two methods here. See, you observe it is cos of log x into 1 by x. So, if you take this as the first term, this as the second term, you can apply the product rule, or else the other method is you can write this function dy by dx in the form of a quotient, that is cos of log x divided by x. If you write like this, you observe it is in the form of a quotient. So, which rule has to be applied? The quotient rule. So, then you go for the second derivative, d square y by dx square. Be careful when you apply the rule. What does the quotient rule say? Denominator x into derivative of the numerator. What is the derivative of cos x? It is minus. So, minus sin of log x, okay, into, again it is a composite function, for log x it is 1 by x. So, the denominator into derivative of the numerator, minus the numerator, it is cos of log of x into derivative of the denominator is 1. Whole thing divided by the square of the denominator. So, the denominator into the derivative of the numerator minus the numerator into derivative of the denominator divided by the square of the denominator. You observe x and 1 by x, now they get cancelled. So, what is remaining now? It is minus sin of log x, okay, this one, minus cos of log x, then whole thing divided by x square. Now, you cannot do any simplification here because we are having it is a composite function and you can't do any simplification. You can take out a minus sign as common factor. That is the only possibility. Otherwise, and of course, taking out only the minus sign does not serve any purpose. Therefore, do not take the common factor. You just write the terms as they are. So, in this case, in this problem, we had a composite function. So, you have to apply the chain rule. When you applied the chain rule, the second stage it became a quotient. So, we applied the quotient rule, got the answer. This is the answer we get for the second derivative. Now, let me take another problem. Y is equal to tan inverse of x. See, I am considering different types of functions. Tan inverse x. What is this function? It is an inverse trigonometric function. Let me differentiate once. Dy by dx is equal to tan inverse x has the derivative because it is a basic function 1 over 1 plus x square. So, this is the first derivative. See, sometimes of course we go for the second derivative. Look at this one. Now it is in the form of a quotient. You can apply the quotient rule for the second derivative and get the result. Then also we get the same answer, or else you can use this result also. If y is 1 by x, no, what would be y dash? It is minus 1 by x square. You can take it as a composite function. Both ways you get the same answer, no problem at all. So, if y is 1 by x, taking this function as 1 by x, what would be its derivative? Minus 1 over square of the denominator. But the denominator itself is a function of x, for which you have to apply the rule. So, it becomes a composite function. Suppose you take the apply the quotient rule here, then also you will be getting the same thing. Any one method you follow. Either treat it as treat the function as a composite function, apply the chain rule. Or if you apply the quotient rule here, see both methods I am showing, you need not do both of them. D square y by dx square, I am applying that rule. It is minus 1 over square of the denominator, 1 plus x square the whole square into. Now this also has to be differentiated with the, which is 2x. For 1 it is 0, x square 2x. So what is the answer? Minus 2x divided by 1 plus x square the whole square. So this is how we get the derivative. Suppose you need not do both the methods here. Suppose you apply the quotient rule here, just to show you that any method will give you the same result. Suppose I make use of the quotient rule here, denominator which is 1 plus x square, isn't it? Derivative of the numerator for 1 being a constant, the denominator becomes 0, minus the numerator into derivative of the denominator 2x, whole thing divided by the square of the denominator. So 0 into anything, that is 0. So it is minus 2x divided by 1 plus x square the whole square. You observe, we got the same answer here. So when you take it as a composite function, you apply the chain rule. Or when you apply the quotient rule, then also you get the same answer. But you have to be careful to write this as 0 because the numerator is a constant whose derivative becomes 0. Sometimes for these problems, this y equal to tan inverse x, they may ask you, show that or prove that a particular answer may be expected, then you may have to rearrange the terms. If nothing has been asked, no, you can directly differentiate once and then go for the second derivative. Now, another problem, here I am considering again a composite function, y is equal to log of log x. You have to be careful here. It is a composite function. Both of them are logarithmic function. So the same rule is applicable. Log x becomes 1 by x. Okay. So let me differentiate once. Dy by dx. Now first, see this is one function, this is another function. First I will take the first function. Log of anything. What's the formula? 1 by that one. It is 1 by log x. So this is over. Now for log x it is 1 by x. So it is 1 by x log x. Let me write it again. Dy by dx equal to 1 by x into log x. Just like the previous problem. That's why I have taken them together. See, in the previous problem also, after the first derivative, we had 1 in the numerator, some function in the denominator. I showed both the methods. Either you can apply the quotient rule or you can apply the chain rule. If you take the function as it is, you apply the chain rule. or else you can apply the quotient rule. Both the methods are correct, any one, but apply the rule carefully. Suppose I take it as a composite function, 1 by something, that is d square y by dx square. If you take the function as say 1 by x, if y is 1 by x, what's the derivative? Minus 1 by x square. First I am applying minus 1 by x into log x the whole square. So 1 by x will have the derivative minus 1 by x. That's what I have written, minus 1 over square of the denominator. So this part is over. But look at the denominator. It is again a product, x into log x. So which rule you are applying? You have to apply the product rule. First function x into derivative of log x is 1 by x, plus second function log x into derivative of x is 1. So this x and x, they get cancelled, minus of, right here, what is remaining? 1 plus log x. Whole thing divided by, you write x log x whole square, or you can write x square into log x the whole square. Don't write log square x here. The many students do that also, log x the whole square. So this becomes the derivative. Suppose you had taken this as a quotient and applied the quotient rule as we did in the previous problem, then also we would have got the same result, because the denominator into derivative of the numerator becomes 0. Then numerator into derivative of the denominator, same thing we would have got here, then square of the denominator. So whichever rule you apply, whichever method you follow, we get the same answer. Now sometimes in some problems, they ask a particular answer. These are usually 2-mark questions only. Now in the next problem, a particular answer is expected. If y is equal to a cos x plus b sin x, where a and b are some constants. A and b are some constant. So constants, then show that d square y by dx square, d square y by dx square plus y equal to 0, plus y equal to 0. Look here, what are a and b here? Even that can be expected for a 2-mark question only. Y equal to a into cos x, or it can be given like this also, a into sin x plus b into cos x, or a cos x plus b sin x. A and b are some constants. In the place of a and b, some particular constant can also be given, like 2 cos x plus 3 sin x, 4 cos x minus 3 plus 7 sin x, like that also it can be given. I have taken a general constant here. If a particular value is given, you apply the same procedure, same type of answer also is expected. Now, because a particular result is expected here, you have to try to get that one. Otherwise, you can simply differentiate 2 times, that's all. So let me differentiate once. dy by dx would be equal to a into, what's the derivative of cos x? Minus sin x. So it becomes minus a sin x plus b into sin x has the derivative cos x plus cos x. So it is minus a sin x plus b cos x once we are differentiated. Now go for the second derivative. D square y by dx square would be minus a into sin x becomes cos x. Now you know that cos x has the derivative minus sin x. So this plus would become minus, and this is b into sin x. If a particular answer is not expected, you can stop here. If I ask you find d square y by dx square, you can stop here. But usually for a 2-mark question, they ask you to prove certain result. Now look at this one. A cos x plus b sin x, that is nothing but a given function. Suppose I had given a number for this one, say 1 here. When you take out a common factor minus sign, what you will be getting here? It is a into cos x plus b into sin x. Even if these are interchanged also, you get the same way. This is d square y by dx square. Now you observe here d square y by dx square equal to minus of y, that is nothing but the given function. If you had given a number for that one, you write from 1. Now take minus y to the left hand side. What happens? It becomes plus y. Therefore, from here we get the result. D square y by dx square plus y equal to 0. So that is expected here. Now it is usually such problems are given for a 2-mark question. The one I did, tan inverse x. There also for such problem also for a 2-mark question a particular answer is expected. If they simply ask you find d square y by dx square, you differentiate 2 times and keep the answer as it is. Now I told you already, in the place of a and b, suppose some numbers are given like 3, 4, 5 or that second term may be negative, whatever may be that one, the result that is expected would be same, that is d square y by dx square plus y, because when you are having cos and sine function, not for other functions, when you are having cos and sine function, if you differentiate 2 times now, you will be always getting back the original function, because cos becomes minus sine, sine will be cos, sine becomes plus cos, cos x becomes minus sine x. So automatically the terms would be repeated and minus sine comes out always as a common factor, then you can go back to the original function, write it as minus y, hence you will be getting the answer as d square y by dx square plus y would be equal to 0. Now this is usually given for a 2-mark question. Now let me try another problem. Here of course the problem which I am going to work out can be expected for a 5-mark question. It is usually given for a 5-mark question because the number of steps we will be calculating would be more, and also the result that has to be proved. In a 5-mark question usually they ask you to prove certain result here. If y is equal to a into e to the power mx plus b into e to the power nx, then show that d square y by dx square minus m plus n into dy by dx plus m into n into y would be equal to 0. Now look at this function. See, I have taken m, a and b and m and n, the general terms, general constants. In the place of a and b, I may have 3 and 4 some number. For m and n also, I may have some particular value. But whatever may be that one, the answer would be usually in this particular form. Second derivative plus some number into first derivative plus some other number into the given function, that would be equal to 0. So, you will be asked to prove certain result. Now, for some functions, directly if you differentiate step by step, automatically you will be getting this result. But when you are having the exponential function, directly you can't get the expected result. You have to calculate the first derivative, you have to calculate the second derivative, and y would be always given. So, on the left hand side part of this result, you substitute the values. What you have to show? You have to show that it is equal to 0. That means that all the terms now they should get cancelled. So, when you are having the exponential function like this, directly you find difficult to get the result. I will come to the next problem, some problem where you can get the answer directly. Whereas here, it is not possible. You have to get the first derivative, second derivative, write the value of y which is given already, then substitute on the left hand side of the result that has to be proved and show that it is equal to the right hand side. In this particular case, it is equal to 0. So, what I do is, I start with the given function, given, and take this as 1. Better you write the number so that afterwards we can refer to that one. So, y equal to, that is a given function. Now, differentiate once. dy by dx is equal to Don't apply the product rule because a and b are constants. Keep them as they are. A into e to the power mx. Now e power x is a simple function. E power mx is a composite function. So e power mx into m plus b into e to the power nx into n. Now this is the first derivative. Take it as 2. Now you cannot take out any common factor here, isn't it? Look here, we don't have any common factor at all because a and b are two different numbers, m and n are two different numbers. Suppose you had same m here and minus m, something like that, then you would have taken the common factor. So this is the first derivative, give it a number, that is a, or you can write one more, instead of giving the number for this one, you can write like this. For convenience, that's all. dy by dx equal to m into a into e to the power mx plus n into b into e to the power nx. I could have taken here itself. Simply to write the constant in the beginning, I have written like this. Okay. Now let us go for the second derivative. D square y by dx square would be equal to m into a into e to the power mx. No product rule anything, it's a chain rule we are applying. E to the power mx into another m. Be careful to write m and n. They look neatly. You should not get confused. Plus n into b into e to the power nx into another n. Therefore, d square y by dx square is equal to m into m square. M square into a into e to the power mx plus n into n, that is n square into b into e to the power nx. Now take it as the third result. So y means it's a given function and result 2 means first derivative, result 3 means it is the second derivative. Now let us start from the left hand side of the given result. What does it ask? D square y by dx square minus m plus n into dy by dx plus m into n into y. This is the left hand side. See, we have calculated the values of all the three quantities which are required, y dy by dx and d square y by dx square. Substitute. This is the second derivative. M square into a into e to the power mx plus n square into b into e to the power nx, that is over. Okay, first part. Now minus of m plus n, here you have to be careful, into, write the first derivative. It is ma e to the power mx plus nb into e to the power nx, that is over, plus mn into y. What is y? It is given function a into e to the power mx plus b into e to the power nx. You can quote here from 1, 2 and 3. How we got this result? I am quoting the values here. I have referred to all the three results which I have already calculated. Now we have to show that this is equal to 0. That means that to get 0, all the terms they should get cancelled. Be careful, we are having minus sign here and product of too many terms here. So carefully let me write. First one, m square into a into e to the power mx plus n square into b into e to the power nx. Here we write them as they are. Be careful. There are two terms here, there are two terms. So when you multiply, there would be 4 terms and all of them should be multiplied by the minus sign. So you have to do the product carefully. Minus m into a into that one, that is minus m square a into e to the power mx minus m into n minus mn into b into e to the power nx, that is over, multiply by n, minus n into m, that is m into n into a into e to the power mx, minus n into n, that is minus n square into b into e to the power nx. So, two terms here, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms from that one. Now, there are two terms, both of them should be multiplied by mn. That is, you write m into n into a into e to the power mx plus m into n into b into e to the power nx. So, we have got here all the terms, and removing the brackets we got the values. Let us see whether they get cancelled and we get the value 0. One by one, be carefully observe. M square into a into e to the power mx. Now minus m square into a into e to the power mx. So cancel these two. That is over. Next minus n square into b into nx, and here plus, and this is minus. They get cancelled. Next, minus m into n into b into e power nx. So this is the same term we are having here. So that is also cancelled. Plus mn into a into e power mx, and this one. So this is also cancelled. So there were 8 terms, and one was positive, the same type of terms we had positive, negative. So all of them, they got cancelled. So finally we get the right hand side, which was 0. So first, in such problems, usually whenever you are having the exponential function, especially exponential function, when you find the derivative, you can't get the answer, whatever answer is expected directly. So in such cases, you have to calculate the first derivative, the second derivative, then you substitute on the left hand side. Usually all the time, if you want to get 0 on the right hand side, all the terms would be cancelled. Now I told you already, in the place of a and b, we may have some numbers. In the place of m and n also, some particular numbers. Even then, the same result, same type of result, not the same result, same type of result would be there. So substitute carefully for all the values, first derivative, second derivative, you will be getting the result. So this is how we have to solve the problems. Usually such problems are given for a 5-mark question. Now another problem I want to try. The next problem also will be proving certain result. So here also usually it is given for a 5-mark question. If y is equal to 500 into e to the power 7x plus 600 into e to the power minus 7x, then prove that d square y by dx square would be equal to 49 times y. 49 times y. The problem is not very difficult here, easy only. So you can get the answer easily, but sometimes it is given, it can be expected, usually it is given for a 5-mark question. Now you observe the difference between this problem and the one which we did just now. In the previous problem also we had the exponential function e to the power mx, e to the power nx. M and n were general constants whose values we never knew, but they were different numbers. Here it is also containing the exponential function, but the difference is the index is same, but for the sign. One is plus 7, the other is minus 7. So the one method which we adopted for the previous problem, that is getting the first derivative, second derivative, substituting and showing it is 0, not necessary in this problem. Because you observe, in the result that has to be proved, we don't have the first derivative at all. It is not in the picture at all. So, second derivative you should show that it is equal to 49 times the first given function. 49 times the given function. If these numbers were to be different, just like the previous problem, the answer would certainly be different. Now, because the numbers are same, only the signs are different here, it is comparatively easier to arrive at the result here. Now, we start with the function and differentiate once. Now, given y is equal to 500. If you want, you can give a number for this one. 500 into e to the power 7x plus 600 into e to the power minus 7x. Sometimes instead of 500 and 600, they have given some constant also, like a and b, unknown constant. These are also constants, they are known values. A and b can be given, m and n can be given. Even then the answer would be same type of answer you will be getting. Now, let me differentiate once, that is dy by dx. dy by dx would be equal to 500 into e to the power 7x into, for 7x it is 7, correct? 7x it is 7 because it is a composite function, plus 600 into e to the power 7x. So, e power x is e power x only, into minus 7 here, into minus 7 here. That is dy by dx would be equal to, don't multiply by 7, keep that 7 as it is, okay? 7 into 500 into e to the power 7x minus 7 into 600 into e to the power minus 7x, e to the power minus 7x. Now, differentiate again with respect to x. d square y by dx square. Now, write this 7 into 500 as it is, e to the power 7x minus again that 7 into 600 into e to the power minus 7x into minus 7. Now, 7 into 500 into e to the power 7x into 7 here also. Then minus 7 into 600 into e to the power minus 7x into another minus 7. Now, 7 into 7, it is 49 into 500. Minus 7 into minus 7, it is again 49 plus 49 into 600 into e to the power 7x. We observe that there is a common factor, that is d square y by dx square would be 49. You take out as common factor. What is remaining? 500 into e to the power 7x plus 600 into e to the power minus 7x, e to the power minus 7x. You observe that the one which I have written inside the square bracket is nothing but the given function y itself. So, write it as from 1. Hence, we get the required answer. So, in this problem, though it contained the exponential function, because the numbers were numerically same, we could get the answer directly. Whereas in the previous problem, it was not so, because we had the indices, different indices. So, we could not get the result here. Now, this is how you have to, most of these problems can be expected for a 5-mark question. So, in the next session also, I want to work out some more problems which can be involving the inverse trigonometry function where a particular answer is expected. So, I will be meeting you in the next session. Thank you.